I'm Mark Brooks.
And I'm John Monroe, and we're the partners of Acony Bell Tiny Home Village. We're located in beautiful Mills River, kind of in between Asheville, Brevard, and Hendersonville, North Carolina.
We are a tiny home community on 58 acres right beside the Pisgah National Forest. We've been here since 2017.
My name is Ashley. I've been living here for almost 2 years now. And what I love about Acony Bell is how cool everybody is in the community. Like, I don't think I've ever lived in a place where I've known my neighbors so well and have befriended them and like talked to them, and it's just it's a close-knit community, and everybody has like an interesting story and an interesting house, and some people have built their houses, and so I've really enjoyed getting to know the people here, and also being able to provide a service to people in the community, because I make vegan meals for people, and I also do dog walking, and so that's allowed me to get to know my neighbors even more.
I'm not vegan yet. They're trying to convert me. It's not happening. I am going to be a carnivore. As long as there's maple wood bacon, I will eat meat. I am Regina Osborne, and I live here at Acony Bell, and I've been here for 2 years. You don't have to lock your doors here. I don't advise not locking your doors, but you really don't. It really is a beautiful place to live. It's safe, it's clean, and you can do what you want with your little area. You know, he just wants you to keep it clean and keep it neat. And everybody's house has a personality.
First of all, the most important thing about the layout is spaces between homes. That is absolutely incredible, just to have that space to do what you need. Tiny living is about living outside. Decks, chairs, horseshoe pits, fire pits. Everybody puts their own little twist on their little area. You know, we've got a couple homes that have decks on top of them, so I think that's the #1 important thing. Second of all is trying to not make everything look like Marine barracks. You know, you don't want that straight lined up. We try to put a skew on the homes to kind of break them up so it doesn't look like home after home after home. But these homes are all different builders, and so that creates the, to the eclecticity of the village. And that just makes it really cute and a great place to be because of that. We do try to have landscaping between all the homes. You can see them today. Another thing that a lot of people don't understand, we're flat, but we really aren't. And you'll see all through the place what we call dry riverbed creeks. Right now they're dry, but after a good 3-inch Mills River storm, they'll be full. But it moves the water on out, and that helps keep the area nice, drained, and beautiful.
Now for a brief message from our sponsor, Merge Gardens. You know, I can be one heck of a busy bee. Bzzz. Being a filmmaker, I'm buzzing around all of the time, but I always try and find time to unwind, and Merge Gardens helps me do that. Merge Gardens is a combination of Merge and Match 3 puzzle games. Tend your mysterious garden and play fun puzzle levels. Are you a weirdo like me who enjoys organizing? Well, Merge Gardens really scratches that itch. It's satisfying to tidy up the garden, merge elements like dandelions to create something new and beautiful. I really enjoy the chill vibes of virtual gardening, mixed with a fun challenge of solving a mystery along the way. And the addictive puzzles too. I like to play after lunch to enjoy a few minutes to reset my busy bee brain before going back to work. Are you ready to play and chillax? Download Merge Gardens with our link in the description or by scanning the QR code on the screen. And good news, it's totally free to play.
For me, when we were doing research on tiny home communities, the thing that stuck out to me about Acony Bell, just by the nature of how it was built, a lot of tiny home communities are built from prior RV parks. And because Acony Bell wasn't that, they were able to ask tiny house owners what they wanted, and they were able to design the landscape towards what those people told them they wanted to see for their homes. And that was, having the home spaced a little further out, having community areas. Where we are today, we're certainly close to our neighbors, but we have a little bit more space to stretch out. It allows us to have, like a nice deck on the side. We're able to walk our dogs further. We have the community fire pits, there's community gardens, there's a community house. So there's definitely a lot of thought that was put into the preparation of the actual community itself. And I think that creates an environment where people can really flourish.
Mm-hmm. And be proud of where they live, and feel like everyone puts a lot of time into their homes and the community and connections, and I think it's really special.
I'm an engineer, a civil engineer, and we do a lot of residential type stuff, and housing developments do a lot of RV parks and mobile home parks and things like that. A civil engineer, we just do the land side. We don't do anything with buildings or anything. It's just the grading, water, sewer, stormwater, that paving and that kind of stuff. I've done it for 20-some years, 25 years. It was about 2015 when I probably contacted you about it, and John was in real estate. I said,
I was doing property management at that point.
Yeah, I said, man, we need to find some acreage, and it was John's idea. He said, man, why don't you think about tiny homes? I was like, oh, well, those are cool. Yeah, I've seen the shows, and that sounds like fun. And so we went to a couple festivals. We went to the one in South Georgia. That was a lot of fun.
Florida.
It was really eye-opening. I mean, it was, we were exploring the reasons as to why people would do this. The reasons that people were doing this: want to reduce my carbon footprint, more mobile now, I'm not tied to an office or a job, and cost of housing. Those issues are tenfold more on the forefront now than they were back then.
And when we first started, people thought we were crazy. We were mortgaging buildings. I sold a home that we had, moved to a much smaller home, and just begged everybody we knew, and finally got enough capital up.
Well, and that was it. We basically had to approach friends to raise the capital to do it. It's one of the reasons it ended up being developed in phases. I think it surprised people in the community. People in the community were very hesitant about accepting, and were not necessarily on the front end like, oh boy, a tiny home community's moving in.
Because it went from, what the hell are them hippies doing down there, to, it's so cute, John. I just love what you've done with this place. Thank you.
Yeah. When we purchased the property, this was all tomato and pepper fields that was, actively farmed. This is Boylston Creek right here that runs through the middle of the property. A good portion of the property was all in the floodplain, the 100-year floodplain. It flooded fairly regularly. So part of what we had to do was we excavated some of the dirt from the front portion of the property up by the highway, where there was kind of a big mound, and we used that dirt to fill into here to raise the elevation. We had to raise pretty much everything about 3.5 feet to get above the base flood elevation. And it's paid off. 2017, 16, we had 100-year rain events, and water came right up to about where they said it was going to come up, and it went back down. So we were real lucky and glad we put the time and the investment in to do that. We're not on city water or sewer here, so we have to have our own on-site wastewater system and on-site community water supply system. They're fairly highly regulated here in North Carolina. We have to have licensed operators to come out and look at everything and take samples and submit reports to the state on a regular basis, which is great. It provides people the assurance that the water's clean and meets all the state requirements and everything. Same thing with the on-site wastewater. We actually have some fairly high-tech, sophisticated systems. It's not just a standard septic system. It all gets aerobically pre-treated. We have a drip system up on that hillside there that the water then gets irrigated out on the landscape, some reuse involved there. All of that takes some time, engineering, permitting to get done, and we've luckily gotten all that squared away.
Yep, one right now. So we do have a chicken club, and everybody in it gets to participate 1 day a week. So you come, you let them out in the morning, you feed them, and then you get that day's eggs. So it's self-managed by the community. That's one of the things I really like, is there's not a lot of intensive management for me. Say, do this, do that. they run it. You know, we're just, when they need food, we get food. When they need straw, they get straw. If a chicken club member wants to let them out, because we do have hawks, we don't let them free range, but we let them out and then they come do their thing, and then you say, girls, come on, time to get back in, and they fall and come back in. And just the ability to have, you know, fresh garden eggs is just huge right now. You know, we try to work toward a sense of permaculture. We're not perfect, no one's perfect, but at the same time, there's something to say about sustainability. So this is a community garden. Same thing, we have a garden club. So people have their own plots, and we till it and we fertilize it, and we just planted a cover crop of rye and Australian winter peas. And so then next spring, people come out and start planting. The others will start with onions, and then we'll move over to tomatoes and squash and zucchinis, and there's always a lot of extra food. So the extra food ends up on the table at the end. So if you have some extras for the rest of the community, you just put it over there at the table. I don't know if you noticed, but there are compost bins all over the location. This is for the chicken poop and the manure and everything. So it's being composted right now and be reapplied back to the garden this spring. And it's probably the best organic fertilizer you could ever have.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Monroe. I'm John's wife of Acony Bell Tiny Home Village, and I manage all the rentals here at Acony Bell. One thing I really like about our rental homes is that people get to come in and try a tiny home for their first visit, and they come back. They love it here. They feel very safe in our community, and they love the area we are at because you can be in Asheville, but you can also go on a beautiful hike on Pisgah National Forest or DuPont. We're here at Tiny Magnolia, and this is one of our more popular rentals, and it was built by Liberation Tiny Home. Why don't you come in and take a look? Welcome to Tiny Magnolia. This is a beautiful farmhouse tiny home. So a lot of our guests love Magnolia. It has a king bed in the loft, which is accessed by steps, and there's also a queen bedroom right on the main floor.
As you can see, we're tucked here in the back of the community, right before the trails.
So at Acony Bell, you're allowed to go out 15 feet from the house, which is great. So we have a ton of space to add our deck, our pergola, and walkway.
On the inside lots, we pay $5.50 each. On the very outside perimeter of these, they pay $6.25. What is included? You've got garbage, you've got water. If you want internet, you can go up to the clubhouse and you can have free Wi-Fi up there.
At the community house, they have a washer and dryer. They have a big screen, flat TV, they got a piano, there's a nice big couch, a fireplace, a big dining table where we've had potlucks before, which is really nice.
There's a separate room in there. I know some people in the community offer yoga or massages, so you can book with them and essentially just go up to the clubhouse, which is nice.
So phase 1 and 2 have 2 big fire pits that they stock the firewood for us, and so they encourage, they want everyone to just go there and gather and use the firewood, whenever you want. There's a Facebook group that people post hey, we're starting a fire in phase 2, back of phase 2, come join us. So yeah, that's really cool.
The national average 3 years ago was $575 for an RV spot. And when I came here and moved here and said it was $600, what do you mean $600? And people were just so irate. And I was like, the national average is $575. And not for nothing, but have you seen this place? It's beautiful. And they put money into the infrastructure, and you have to appreciate that, and they have to recoup that money. And if you think you're going to get an apartment in Asheville for $600, good luck, sis. It's not happening. So if you're coming from a city, a large city, and rents are $2,000 easy for a 1-bedroom, for a house you own to pay $600, are you mad? I'm not mad at all. And I appreciate the attention to detail here, the beauty here, the upkeep and the maintenance of the landscaping.
So phase 3, we had an area that had an old hemlock forest. The eastern hemlocks are dying off from Woollia delgid. And we cut down the hemlocks, and we made a nice little area up on the knob up here that will have 14 houses up here, basically tying the community center to the rest of the community. We planned out another 7 down here at the front entrance. Then we're planting green giants, arbor vitae, all around it, and we will be finished. But we're really never finished. We've always got stuff to do. I'd say probably 100 to 110 people live here. I think that's a good estimate. Yeah. And then we tried to keep the lot rate affordable, and that is all relative to where you live.
The infrastructure is expensive, and I tell you, the cost in the last 2 years has gone through the roof. And the power to run the pumps, and we're constantly dealing with well issues, and it's expensive to run. And I'm sure a lot of people would love to have 5 acres of their own, and there's a fair amount of expense in A, building it, and B, in maintaining it. The cost to do it's about the same as a residential housing development on a per lot basis. The biggest I think comment we had when we first opened was, "Where's the pool?" And we were like, "No, we got a creek."
I gotta pick up the phone and pick up Max and said, "Well, man, we get hot around here. We just kind of jump in the creek." Yeah. So, different communities have different tastes and for different people.
Yeah.
And if you love the outdoors, you love laid-back people that look after each other, it's great.
Yeah.
But then, if you're looking for a more structured type place, country club with pickleball and pools and stuff, that's not us.
Yeah.
We made this place fun. That was the main idea of this project. We're gonna do a project together. It's gonna be fun. Golly, the residents, it's amazing, the different backgrounds, the young couples, the nesting couples, the girlfriend, boyfriend, the middle age, retirees, it's everyone.
I enjoy living here, and I know maybe there's been some knocks here that we're more homogenized than the rest of the world, but we are a microcosm of where we are. Number 1, you have to want to live outside of Asheville, North Carolina. Number 2, you have to have a tiny house. Number 3, John has to have an open lot. And then you want to be a person of color. There's a lot of things that have to fall into place. And timing is everything in tiny houses, whether it's your builder getting your house to you, whether it being transported to you once it's built. It's just so many things that have to fall into place to come and live here. I don't feel out of place here. I don't care if there's no other single Black woman over 50.
The community here at Acony Bell has been absolutely wonderful. I think it's probably the best living situation we've ever had. Sure. We've been in a lot of apartment living, so smaller, and it was kind of very secluded. And then when we were out on the farm in Marshall, it was the same thing. It was kind of just us by ourselves on the hill, which was beautiful. But as soon as we moved in here, we were surrounded by really wonderful people. There was a whole welcoming crew. Jo Ellen out on her porch over there was like, "Yay, welcome!" And it was just so nice. And instantly everyone was like, "If you need anything, let us know. We're here to help."
there's a wide range of people, and like us being a gay couple, you know, I never ever felt any sort of like discrimination or anything like that. Like people have just been like very welcoming. There are quite a few people in the neighborhood in the LGBTQ community, so like that's been super cool.
Our tinies aren't like as close as I think I've seen some other tiny home communities, so we do have a lot more room, but even with that, like people try not to walk in each other's yards and give the space, you know, that everyone should have. It's been really nice. Like everyone is just super friendly and understanding and welcoming. So
I was a little nervous at first, like when having people come up and like introduce themselves, like the first day we were here, because the house was placed and we hadn't even really moved in, and I was like, oh, just like, you know,
this is how it's
like,
gonna be. Like,
am I just gonna
on our door? Like,
yeah, I was like, am I ever gonna like not have to talk to somebody? But it doesn't feel that way. I can walk outside and just like do my own thing, or like sit outside on my little patio and like don't feel like I have to like, you know, be having some sort of interaction with somebody. But it's also great too that like when I can walk outside and I can just like have a conversation with somebody if I want to. So
Well, so far, one of the things that we really like about being at Acony Bell is that it's kind of like camping with your friends. You know, you get to live with your friends as neighbors, you get to have fire pits together, you can walk down the road and knock on someone's door, everyone walks their dogs together. So there's definitely a lot going on.
3 or 4 different residents have come to me over the years and, you know, John, I'm so sorry, but we bought land. I am so ecstatic for them. I am so happy.
Yeah, that's great.
You know, that's the dream.
Yeah.
God, to have, you know, 10 acres of land with a tiny home on it. Oh my God, I'm so happy for them. I'm not disappointed.
Yeah.
You know, that just, it's great that this was kind of a stepping stone for them. It's just, it's really turned into a good sense of community. Yeah. These people all know each other. You know, you're talking about living in a small town of 2,000. They're in a small town of 120 people. And they know each other. And, you know, there's not a lot of issues
They look
here.
after each other. There is a lot of looking after. And I think a lot of the people that are here, they hadn't gone and gotten that acre in the woods because they know that there's others here looking after them.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, John Quinn, when people tell us, what are the rules there? And it was like, you know, be kind, don't be a jerk. That's it. After that, it's pretty easy. Yeah.
Keep it cute and don't be a jerk.
Keep it cute and don't be a jerk.
And it is
That's
cute.
Yeah.
You know, we do have some rules and regulations that kind of keep it from not, you know, getting run down, you know, but at the same time, it's cute. I mean, there's no better word to describe it. And, you know, great people. I think that's the key to it. It's nothing about us.
Yeah.
You know, it's great people.
Yeah.
The question I get a lot is, do they appreciate or do they depreciate? Well,
That's a good question.
I'm always, exactly, and I'm always, you know, talking to Henderson County because, you know, there are RVs in North Carolina, you've got an RV depreciation schedule, which takes like a 30% hit on the first year. But, yes, they're appreciating. Even resales in here, I mean, they go in about a week, people want to be in here, and it's, you know, at least the home setups, you're getting, you know, a little bit of equity out of that, but at the same time, you know, it's definitely getting premium for resales because you can't get a tiny home. I mean, a quality one.
2 years.
Yeah, good guys. Like we were just talking about Liberation. I mean, God bless those guys, but they're a year and a half out right now. And people want to be here, and we don't have any spots. You know, and I always get to the end of the wait list. You know, at one point our wait list was 200 people.
There are currently 3 houses here for sale. People do sell, people do move, and lots do become available, but you have to jump on it. I love it here. I really do. And every time there's a house for sale, I'm like, who wants to be my neighbor?
You know, I work in probably 20 different counties in North Carolina, and even within those counties, there's, you know, towns and municipalities, and their attitudes and rules and regulations with regard to doing this kind of thing are so different. I mean, it varies wildly from one little burg to the next. And a lot of times their, you know, regulations and whatnot are formed by maybe 1 or 2 people within the local government or maybe on the council or whatever's attitudes, opinions, and possibly even prejudices. I just wish that they would take the time to come and investigate places like Acony Bell and other good communities like this and look at it and ask some questions and go, how does this work? And I think they would come up with a different set of rules and regulations. And I've heard ever since I moved here to Asheville 27 years ago about affordable housing. We have got to provide affordable housing. And every time I bring up something like this, I just get shut down because of their closed-mindedness about the whole thing. And I'm like, you don't know anything about it. You know, this is a great solution. You know, it limits sprawl, even though we're fairly rural here, and a lot of positives. And I just think it's something that's got to be part of the solution in the future.
Yeah, and it's, you know, like I said, trial and error.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's just the best part.
And there's ways to do it wrong, don't get me wrong. I think we could have screwed this up pretty good.
No, we
yeah.
made some
and
mistakes.
we could have jammed 500 units in here
easily.
And, you know, and turn it into not a very nice place to live. But that can all be resolved, you know, at a municipal and local ordinance level.
Thank you for watching our video and for stopping by Tiny House Expedition. I'm Alexis.
And I'm Christian. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And for more tiny home tours and stories, click the videos below.
And join us on Instagram for bonus content,
including face-to-face conversations with us. We hope to see you there.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.